change the world doesn't really require anything grandiose. Like Steve Jobs said, it only takes people who are crazy enough to believe that they can change the world. And that is really the people that will actually change the world. So if you're here, it means that you're passionate about change, because what is TED about? TEDx is about ideas, sharing ideas, and you're passionate about changing the world. Which means that from the corner where you're seated right now, you have ideas inside of you that can go out to change the world. And I want to congratulate you for making it out here. Once again, can you please put a round of applause together for yourselves? Put your hands together for yourselves. You made it out here. Thank you very much. All right. When I was coming, my friend Ododo was asking if I was nervous. I said, no, I was not nervous. But I think I'm nervous now. So if you probably just laugh, I would try as much as possible not to be nervous. It's very difficult to tell people to laugh. Just like it's difficult to tell somebody to cry. I don't know which is easier. Can you cry at will or laugh at will? Which one is easier? Sorry? I'm hearing you crav. Can you cry at will or laugh at will? Shout it which one? Laugh at will or cry at will? Oh yeah, laugh now. All right, great. Awesome. Thank you very much for easing that nervousness that I was feeling. Today I'm talking about something interesting. Also to the people that introduced me, I wasn't expecting that kind of introduction. Somebody said, what do you know? He says the pastor. I said, wow, is that what we're doing here? All right, great. I'm talking about something interesting because of the background of work that I do. I work in marketing, and that is what I do professionally. And I will be talking about a marketing idea that is not really seen, very silent, but it is the truth. And it will shift and change your perspective today if you give me your time and pay attention. Today I'm going to be talking about the topic that says, you are not the hero of your brand story. I'm going to say that again. You are not the hero of your brand story. Can you repeat that after me? You are not what? One more time. Thank you very much. You're not the hero of your brand story. Now, let me take you back to your secondary school while growing up in school. How many of you know that I would like to tell you that there are two kinds of kids? There is this kid who is popular, and the reason why they are popular is because their parents are probably rich, right? And then they try as much as possible to make every conversation that is being that is going on about them. So there is a kid who is popular, and they are popular because they have what we call, the Gen Zs, we say that they have main character syndrome. How many of you heard about that before? Main character syndrome. Now, what does the main character syndrome do? It means that you're trying to insert yourself into every conversation, even if the conversation doesn't necessarily concern you, right? So we go on holiday or we go on break, and then everybody's talking about, where did you spend your last holiday? And they're like, oh, my parents took me to Paris. Oh, my parents did this. We spent the holiday in the United Kingdom. We spent the holiday here. And let's say you're having a conversation about football. And then there is this kid that comes around and say that, you know what? We're just talking about football. That, oh, I love black balls. Oh, I love white balls. Oh, I have 2 balls. Oh, I have 3 balls. And then there is this kid who just comes and says that, yes, my daddy bought me 1 white and 1 black ball. And everybody just goes, oh, it's not really about you, man. How many of you have friends like that, or you know people like that? Raise your hand. Fantastic, great. Now, I had this kid once in my class. It was so bad, she tries to insert herself into every conversation. It was so bad that one time we learned about insects that are found around the home. Can you tell me some insects found around the home? You have what? Mosquitoes, you have spiders, you have houseflies, and then the teacher made mention of one insect around the home that many people do not necessarily talk about, bedbugs. And so we're discussing about it that, oh, who has seen mosquito before? And everybody's like, oh, I've seen mosquito before. In fact, I've killed mosquito, in fact. Who has seen housefly before? I've seen housefly before. Who has seen spiders before? Now, bedbugs were not insects that were found everywhere. And so many of the kids had not seen bedbugs before. And so we really do not know what bedbugs look like. We only knew what bedbugs look like from seeing them in photos. And because Ife had main character syndrome, she came and she said, I've seen bedbug before. In fact, we have bedbugs in our house. And that's how our nickname became bedbug. Main character syndrome. Now, then there is this other kid who you love to hang around. Many people don't like to hang around this kid because they try to make everything about themselves. But there is this other kid that we all like to hang around. Why? And we have those friends in our lives because they make us feel seen, they make us feel heard, they make us feel celebrated. There are people that you talk to and then you feel good about yourself talking to them. How many of you have friends like that? You know people like that. You talk to them and you feel great about yourselves, right? Because they help you to unlock a version of you that you never thought was possible before. They unlocked a version of you that you never thought was there. And that is why you love to hang out with them. Many of you seated here, if you get a good news now, and I ask you, amongst your friends, there is usually somebody that you will go to share the news with. Am I correct? Can you think about that person right now? Let's say that you got visa to travel out of the country. Who's the first friend you're going to call to talk to it about? There is somebody in your mind right now. And the person in your mind might not necessarily be your bestie. Am I correct? Why? Because if you talk to your bestie about it, they can find a way, if they are like the first kid, the bedbug kid, they can find a way to insert themselves into that conversation and let you know that, oh, you know what, my brother is also in the UK, right? I'm not talking about your brother here, I'm talking about me, I'm going to the UK. So there is that person who you will talk to naturally. And the interesting thing is that many brands today are like that first kid who try to make everything about themselves. The brands that win and the brands that sell and the brands that thrive are the brands that make you the center of their story. And this is a 3,000-year-old principle, right? That people will naturally gravitate towards where they feel seen, where they feel heard, and where they feel celebrated if you make the story about them and not you. Think about the churches that you attend if you're a Christian. If you're a Christian, the churches that you attend or the social groups that you belong to are the places where you naturally feel seen, you feel heard, and you feel celebrated. Those are the places where you want to keep going back to. Am I correct? You want to hang around people that make you feel special. You want to hang around people that make you feel loved. You want to hang around people that see the best in you. Even if you are you're the most terrible person upon the face of the earth. You want to hang around people that still see good in you. Am I correct? Fantastic. And interestingly, many brands are blind to this truth. In 1949, a man named Joseph Campbell wrote a book called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. The Hero with a Thousand Faces, written by Joseph Campbell. Now, what was the book about? Campbell took research of different folklores across West Africa, China, Europe, South America. He made a research about the mythologies, the legends in those spaces. And what he found out was that many times the scripts are always the same. An ordinary person had an extraordinary shift, and at the moment where they're going to hit it big or give up, somebody shows up in their life that encourages them and empowers them to go further. Am I correct? You've seen this 1,000 times before. Think about, for people that watch and love anime, if you love anime here, can I hear you make some noise? Fantastic. Think about Naruto. And Naruto was a great fighter. He was a great warrior, correct? But there is somebody that we often overlook in Naruto's story, which was who? Kakashi. Now, Kakashi was an experienced ninja. But Kakashi laid down his sword to train Naruto, empowering Naruto to become the fighter and the warrior that Naruto went ahead to become. Am I correct? So Kakashi was pivotal in Naruto's story. If Naruto is going to tell his story today, he's going to mention the name Kakashi. Think about, how many of you have seen the movie One Piece? Think about Luffy, in One Piece. You will mention Shanks, who was one of the 4 major emperors. And he took joy and so much admiration for a young boy. And he gave him a hat. And he said, take this hat. Return it to me when you become one of the greatest sailors, one of the greatest pirates ever. That was Shanks. In our contemporary days today, think about somebody in the music industry. Don Jazzy, who has gone ahead to empower many music artists and is a pivotal player in their brand story, who has gone ahead to build the success stories of many people, and he just sits in the background. Don Jazzy is not iconic today because he's an iconic person. He became iconic because he raised icons. Think about D'banj, Wande Cole, Tiwa Savage, Rema, Arya Star, DJ, and we can go ahead to mention a few. You see, we are most powerful when we make other people feel powerful, and that is the truth. So for many brands, you see, I've sat in many boardrooms, I've sat in many work meetings, and I often hear, because of the nature of the work that I do, I work in marketing, and I've worked across multiple marketing agencies. And when these brands come to us to work on their marketing campaigns or their advertising, and we say, tell us about your brand, the things that you often hear them say is that we are the first, we are the best, we are the number one, we provide this, we provide that. And again, it points us back to the first kid, the main character syndrome. Trying to insert yourself into people's success story. People will not gravitate towards you because you are the best or you are the first or you are the last. They will gravitate towards you because you understand their problem, you help them to feel seen, you help them to feel heard, and you celebrate them. So many brands miss it at this point when they say that we are the first. But the brands that win are the ones that make their customers the center of their story. You are this. You become this when you do this. Those are the brands. Think about a brand like Nike. Why is Nike so iconic? Nike is iconic, why? Because it makes the users the center of their brand story. Nike will often not tell you that our shoes are the best. They will tell you that this empowers you to wake up at 5 a.m., to be disciplined, to achieve your goals, which is one of the dire needs of every human being, is to become the things that they desire to be, is to reach their full potential. That is what everybody wants to achieve. And Nike understands that, and they put that in your subconscious. That with Nike, you wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, you will take that morning jog, you become the great athlete, you become the great student that you're meant to be because of this brand. It makes you feel seen. It answers a deeper problem. And that brings me to 3 things that brands should do in order to sit back and make their customers the hero of their brand story. Because the truth is, you should not strive to be the hero in your own brand story. What you need to do is to be a guide in your brand story. Because we feel powerful when we empower other people. We are most powerful when we help other people feel powerful. So there are 3 things that every brand here can do. Whether you're a small scale business, whether you sell chin-chin, whether you sell clothes, whether you sell thrift, whatever it is that you do. And it works for small businesses, it also works for large businesses. There are 3 things that you can do right now. The first thing that you can do is to solve problems. Solve the customer's problem. Now, when I say solve problems, I'm not talking about solving problems in the context of solving external problems. For example, let's say you're a software engineer and you built a tech company, and your customers are complaining that they need an automation system that will help them to do their work faster, right? And so you built the system. You've solved the problem. But the problem that you've solved is an external problem. You need to solve something deeper. You have not only solved an external problem, you have actually solved something deeper, but you need to communicate that beyond the external problem that you solve. And I'm going to explain that to you. Before ChatGPT, how many of you use ChatGPT? Shout, yay. Great. Now, ChatGPT doesn't just help you get your work done faster, correct? It gives you, the problem that it solves for you is that it gives you time to be able to watch movies, right? Right? It gives you time to be able to block, right? It gives you time to be able to do other things. That is what ChatGPT does for you. So imagine you're supposed to spend 3 hours for a task, and now you got it done in 20 minutes. It means that you have 2 hours, 40 minutes to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's a deeper problem that has been solved for you. In fact, that is the reason why you use ChatGPT, not just because you want to get your work done faster. So brands must communicate the real problem that they are solving, which is an emotional problem. Because the truth is, people make decisions based on emotions, not really based on logic. How many of you here eat breakfast? Shout yay. Now, the reason why you don't eat breakfast, if you don't eat breakfast, shout yay. The reason why those people that don't eat breakfast is because they do not feel hungry. Many people eat only when they feel hungry. Emphasis on the word feel. How many of you set a timer and say that, you know what, I need to eat lunch by 2 o'clock? How many of you do that? You only eat lunch when you feel hungry, am I correct? So people make decisions many times based on emotion. So number one is that you need to solve a problem, and not just external problems. You need to solve an internal problem. Let's say, for example, you sell jeans. You need to communicate that we're not just selling jeans. We are selling confidence. We're selling beauty. We're helping you package yourself in a style that represents you the best. That is what you should communicate. Not just that you're selling jeans. That if when you wear these jeans, this is how you feel. Step into the room looking elegant, looking bold, looking fly because of these clothes. Are you following what I'm saying here? Second thing that you need to do is that you need to empower your users and give them the permission to do what they choose to do with your solution. Many brands always want to control the narrative. Do not control the narrative. Allow people to evolve and tell more stories from that brand story. And that's what makes your brand really beautiful. The third thing that you need to do, after having, number one thing that you need to do, solve problems, not just external problems, internal problems also. The second thing that you need to do is to take a seat back. The third thing that you need to do is to celebrate people's victory and not take the center stage for the victory. I'm going to explain that to you. If you sell a skincare product, and then you want to have testimonials for your product. You know, many times what people do is that they do the before and after. Oh, because this person used our product, their face, they had a lot of pimples before, now they don't have pimples anymore. What you've done is that you've reduced the effort, the consistency that is required for them to go through the program of using your product. You've reduced it to just the magic of your product. People don't want to be reduced to just a magic. You need to let them know that while you use the product, this was all you. Your consistency was the reason why you got the result that you got. Am I communicating here? So you need to not tell them that we did this for you. You need to let your customers know that you became this by yourself, and this product helped you to get there. There are two different things. You see, that little distinction of we did this for you, and you did this by yourself, and the product was just a help, is a very, very large distinction. And that is what you need to understand as a brand, learning to build stories and learning to build a successful brand. I'm going to round off with this. Like I said, the first kid has main character syndrome. The second kid is a guide. People always want to be with people that make them feel seen, heard, and celebrated. So as a brand owner today, what you want to do is to look for ways, how do I make my customers feel seen, feel heard, and feel celebrated? The reason why you're getting 2 likes or 3 likes on your post because you sell journals is because you sell journals. What you sell is beyond journals. What you're selling is an opportunity for people to document their lives, to walk through a journey of 5 years, 10 years. They can go back to the journal and say, this was where I was 10 years ago. What you're selling is beyond paper, is beyond artback. What you're selling is an opportunity for people to see themselves in the course of time. What you're selling is not just fashion. What you're selling is style. What you're selling is not just a weight loss program. What you're giving is confidence. So you need to understand what real problem you're solving and then solve that problem. Thank you very much, and I'm glad you enjoyed this. Thank you. Thank you.